What if the one device we're constantly told is ruining our mental health is actually one of its most powerful allies? It sounds totally backward, right? But today, we're going to dig into the surprising ways your smartphone might just be a key to better well-being.
So, this is the big question, isn't it? It just kind of hangs over our digital lives. And the story we always hear is almost a cliche at this point. All this screen time, this constant connection, it has to be bad for us. But is that really the whole picture?
Well, it turns out some researchers are flipping that entire question on its head, and they found an answer that doesn't just, add a new wrinkle to the debate, it completely reframes it. And honestly, it might just change how you look at that phone in your pocket.
Okay, so first, let's just acknowledge the big story here. The idea that our phones are basically the villains in our mental health story. It's a really powerful and, let's face it, persuasive idea that we've all heard a million times.
And our source for this explainer, a doctor's notes, just nails it with this quote. The second mental health comes up in conversation, what happens? Technology immediately becomes a scapegoat. It's the easy thing to blame for a much, much more complex problem.
And you see this everywhere. News articles, expert panels, they're all pointing the finger at technology as a driver of anxiety and depression. But here's the thing. What if by only focusing on the bad stuff, we're missing out on a massive opportunity?
Because there is a growing pile of evidence that suggests our phones can actually be incredible tools for good. Seriously, you could almost think of it as having a form of therapy right there in your pocket.
And this is where the story really starts to pivot. Look, we all know the column on the left, distraction, feeling isolated, getting sucked into that endless doom scrolling. But what's so fascinating is how that exact same device can be used for the stuff on the right, for stress reduction, for finding real emotional support, and for getting help to overcome some serious hardship. It's a complete 180 on what the tool can do. And hey, this isn't just a theory. We are talking about a literal digital pharmacy for your mind. There are sophisticated programs out there for treating things like depression and phobias, apps that turn therapy into a game so it feels less like a chore, and even simple tools like relaxing music apps for stress relief. It's a whole ecosystem of support.
I mean, take this researcher, David Haniff. He developed an app that uses something incredibly simple, but so powerful, your own photos and videos. So for people dealing with depression, it shows them images of their own happy moments, giving them this really personal and immediate mood boost.
And he didn't stop there. Haniff even created a game. Think about that. He turned an activity that's so often blamed for mental health problems into a solution. The game helps people explore their own depression triggers, but in a way that feels engaging, maybe a little less intimidating than a formal therapy session. But it's not just about self-help apps. This is huge. Smartphones are also knocking down one of the biggest barriers in mental health, the simple act of connecting with a professional in the first place.
The path to getting help is becoming so much more direct. I mean, using the tools you already have on your phone, email, chat, video calls, you can now work with a psychologist from pretty much anywhere. It just removes all the friction and lets you move forward at a pace that works for you.
Just stop and think about what this really means. If you live somewhere remote, or you have mobility issues, or just a crazy demanding schedule, this isn't just convenient, it's revolutionary. It makes getting consistent care possible in a way that it just wasn't before.
And for some people, the impact is even more profound. As our source points out, for someone with social anxiety, whose condition might make it terrifying to even leave the house, online access can, and this is a direct quote, a real lifesaver. The phone becomes the bridge they desperately need to get help.
So, after all this, what's the big takeaway? Well, it's really about reframing our entire relationship with technology. We have to start seeing it not as some tyrant that dictates our well-being, but as what it is, a tool in our hands.
At its core, any piece of technology is neutral. Think about a hammer. You can use it to build a beautiful house, or you can use it to smash a window. The hammer itself has no agenda. Its impact is defined entirely by the person holding it.
And that, right there, is the real shift in thinking we need to make. The power isn't in the device itself, it's in our intention. Whether this incredible tool helps us or harms us depends completely on the skill and the awareness we bring when we use it.
So the debate isn't really about whether technology is good or bad for us. The real question is much more personal, and it's one we all have to answer for ourselves. Now that you know its potential, how are you going to choose to use it?